Hi, Fiction Recapped here. Today, I will explain the horror drama called Lake Mungo. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. At the beginning of the movie, we see unrelated pictures of ghost sightings, alongside numerous voiceovers of people talking about dealing with grief and loss. After the intro, we see a text that tells us that in December of 2005, a tragedy happened that changed the lives of a family in a small town of Ararat. The movie begins with a 911 recording of a woman, June, saying her daughter, Alice, went missing. After the call ends, a news report is seen, where the police talk about Alice and what they are doing to find her. Suddenly, a voice of Alice's father, Russell, overlaps that, explaining that Alice and Matthew, her brother, went swimming in the lake where the family had a picnic, which was the last time they saw her. In the next scene, we see the family members doing an interview, explaining the events before Alice's disappearing. After Matthew got out of the water, a certain amount of time passed where they haven't seen Alice. All three of them started calling out to her, looking around the picnic grounds, but to no avail before they called the police to look for her. The family that got sent home by the police awaited for the news with the rest of their family and close friends. June explains how it felt weird being there with her mother while Alice was gone. A few days later, the divers found Alice's body, calling the family to identify it. June decided to let Russell go alone, wishing to preserve the memory of her daughter as she had until now. Pictures of a disfigured body are shown, with the confirmation that it was, in fact, Alice. 10 days after Alice's funeral, the family started noticing strange happenings in the house, such as weird noises coming from her room. June explains how at that period she started having horrible nightmares, such as Alice standing at the foot of June's and Russell's bed, staring at them. Meanwhile, Russell, who started working more, looking for a distraction from the loss of his daughter, tells the interviewer how he saw Alice's ghost in her room. His co-worker says that Russell wouldn't make something like that up and that he believes him. In the next scene, the family's close friend Georgie says how she was mostly worried about Matthew due to how him and his sister were close. Matthew, on the other hand, started pursuing photography more, something that he was always interested in. In one of his photos of the house's backyard, he noticed what appeared to be Alice standing by the fence. Similarly to that, in the photo taken by a random passerby, Alice is seen standing by the lake where she drowned in. These pictures got June to believe that Alice was still alive, which Russell blames to the fact that she hasn't seen her body like he did. After it was once again confirmed that the body they found is Alice by the DNA test, Matthew decided to set up a camera in the hallway, which captured movement of a shadowy figure. In the next scene, June decided to go and seek out help from a psychic, Ray, who performed a hypnosis on her, in which she saw herself in Alice's room, where she saw Alice sitting in a chair looking sad. Later on, June invited Ray to perform a seance, during which nothing happens, but once they checked the footage of it, noticed a figure standing in the background that looked quite similar to Alice. The family started filming the house 24/7 in hopes of seeing more proof of Alice's ghost being real, which they ultimately got. Before they could process what they saw, a video of their neighbors, the Witters, came out, which was filmed the same day the photo of Alice on the lake was taken, in which it is clearly visible that Matthew was the person on the lake that day. Matthew admits that he photoshopped the photos and videos he took, faking Alice's ghost by using old footage of her. He says that the last thing he wanted was to distress the family, and that he was just trying to keep Alice's memory alive. After that, June loses all hope of Alice being alive. Russell's co-worker and other friends say how Alice and June didn't seem to get along well, even though they were quite similar, mostly in terms of keeping their lives completely to themselves, having secrets they wouldn't share with others. June's mother admits that she had an issue with her, where she couldn't give herself fully to the role of being a mother, and mentions how she believes June had the same issue with Alice. In the next scene, Ray invited Matthew to one of his trips, which proved to be quite effective for Matthew emotionally, where he realized how he truly misses Alice. While he was gone, the cameras they left in the house that were still working filmed once again a figure similar to Alice in the house. Considering Matthew wasn't there, he had no way of faking the footage, which proved that someone, aka Alice, truly is in the house. That caused June to review all the footage once again, where she found another figure standing in Alice's room, which turned out to be Brett, their neighbor, for whose family Alice babysitted. After looking through Alice's room in hopes of finding the reason why Brett was in the house, she found a safe which contained a tape of the footage of Alice sleeping together with Brett and his wife. Alice's family and friends explained how they felt sad that Alice didn't reach out to them about it, and that they couldn't believe what happened. In the next scene, it is also revealed how Alice visited Ray 5 months before her death, due to her unsettlement because of constant nightmares she had, which he hasn't told Alice's family. The family felt betrayed by that, mostly because he wasn't able to see Alice's death coming so soon. Later on, June reads Alice's diary that she found in her safe, reading about one of her nightmares, which is very similar to the nightmare June had about Alice standing in front of her parents' bed. Afterwards, June talks about Lake Mungo, a place where Alice went with her friends. She came back from that trip without most of her valuable items, such as her phone, favorite bracelet, and watch. In the footage one of her friends made of Lake Mungo, it is obvious that Alice was distressed. At one point, she's seen walking off alone, and later burying something in the ground. The family decided to go and find out what she hid, finding her phone and other items she told them she lost during the trip. On her phone, they found a footage of Alice walking alone, coming across a figure that looked exactly like she did after the divers found her body. Due to that video, the family is sure that Alice knew she was going to die. After that, the family started feeling peace in the house, as though they were finally able to move on. It seemed like finding that footage gave them closure they have been looking for. They quickly afterwards decided to move out of the house. In the next scene, June is back to Ray's place, doing yet another hypnosis. Alongside that, the footage of Alice's hypnosis is shown. The two parallel each other from different points of view, proving that Alice's dreams were prophecies of what will happen to her after her death. At the end of the movie, the picture of the family outside of their house is shown, and in the window, Alice's ghost is visible, looking at them from inside the house, showing that even though they moved on from the events, Alice is left behind, feeling alone as she did during her last days. During the credits, a sequence of random footages is shown, with Alice's ghost hidden in them. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.